Okay, this video is going to be on the disassembly of a Colt Anaconda. This one has an 8-inch barrel. It's a bright stainless. I'm getting ready to engrave it, so I thought I'd go ahead and do a disassembly video. Okay, I zoomed in the screen just a little bit so we could see it a little bit easier. We need to flip the pistol over to remove the grips. There's only one screw that holds the grips on. And pull that screw out and the grips are off. Pretty easy. Okay, the next thing you do, this is the left side and the right side of the pistol. If you notice on the right side of the pistol there is only one slotted screw. That screw is what keeps the cylinder in. So you need to take that screw out. And that screw has multiple pieces. There's a spring and little post. Now what I do is I usually take these three, put them back together so I don't lose a piece. And then I wrap a piece of tape around them, which I'm going to do later. Okay, now you flip the pistol back over, pull the cylinder release, and the cylinder should just come off, sliding to the front. Okay, I'm going to set the pistol aside for a second and take the cylinder apart. There's a little star in the back. If you grab that star, you should be able to twist, and of course I can't right now. So I'm going to have to grab something I can hold on to it a little bit tighter. Okay, what I did is I grabbed a rag so I can hold on to that V without hurting my hand. It allows me to put a little bit more bite on the screw. Get rid of the rag. And you end up with a post. You end up with the star, cylinder, and a spring. And there's a little black thing that might fall out. You need to watch for that. It goes inside the post here, and it holds the spring. So the cylinder post. So that is how you take the cylinder apart. Now the best way, actually the best way to store these is to put them back together. So I'm just assembling them back. And that way you don't lose any of the little small parts. I've got a little black piece that fits inside. Okay, now they're ready to be stored. Okay, the next part in taking this apart, that was all on the back side. The cylinder was on the front. Now there are two screws, one here and one here. This is not a screw. These two pieces are the screws that we need to take out. There's a short one in the front, and the back one is a longer screw. And notice that it's proud. It doesn't sit flush. So when we put it back together, we won't try to do anything we shouldn't. There's the long screw and the short screw. Now this whole faceplate comes off. Now to get this faceplate off, I reached below it in the back and just lift it up. The cylinder release popped off. The reason it popped off is there's a little flat spring that you need to pull out. And there's the faceplate. This is the internal workings of the pistol. If you will pull this hammer back, now notice I held everything down. There's a little hole right here, and I'm going to stick this pin through the hole. Set the hammer back down. This spring will now come out and stay under tension. It makes it a lot easier to put it back in if you leave that pin in. Okay, now cylinder hand, safety. The hammer should come out next. Should be able to come out next. That hammer's out. Trigger should lift straight up. The spring right here is getting under a little tension. It's giving me a little problem. So what I'm going to do is lift it up, pull the hammer out. The trigger. I keep calling that the hammer for some reason on video. Okay. The spring that was giving me a problem is this one right here. Notice it's sitting on top of the ledge, and then this spring was actually sitting on top of this post right here. That post right there. So that's why it was a little difficult to pull out. This is easier if you pull up on that little spring and it just comes right out. Next thing to take out is the spring that holds in the cylinder lock. You pull this out, the split side, see this is split. The split side was towards the front of the gun. And now the cylinder lock comes out. No, that's not the cylinder lock, that's the, cylinder lock. I'm not a gunsmith. I take a lot of these apart, put them back together when I'm doing my engraving. So there was not a video for an Anaconda, so I thought I'd build you one. There is a disassembled Anaconda as far as I take it. If you need to take it any farther, these safeties are put in with pins. There's a pin here and a screw here. The screw does the elevation, this pin holds it in. And on the front sight has 2 pins. You just need to knock the pins out and the pistol will be completely disassembled. There is one little piece back here in the back. If they're tight, I'll leave them in. If you need it out, you can tap it with a little rubber mallet and it'll come out. That is the total Colt Anaconda 44 Magnum disassembly. Hope it helps. And once again, when I say it's the total, I always leave something out. There is a little cylinder post right here. This shifts back and forth. I missed it because the cylinder release popped off, if you remember. It has a slot right here. That slot fits on top of that vertical post. And that's when this is on, that's what moves this post back and forth to hold the cylinder in. That's the cylinder post. So you need to pop that little cylinder post out. Now the pistol's completely taken apart. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the little mix up there.